It is 3:30. Hi. So I will go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you, Allison. Yep, for being here. I've got 7 topics to talk about today for projects. First one being the golf course sewer force main, which is a sewer force main that runs under the golf course bridge that's right over here across the road. I believe it's the 18th hole, but I'm not, yeah, okay. Bids are due for that project on the 30th of this month. And we're gonna hold off until it's much slower golfing season before we start that project, and I'll work with the golf course to get that scheduled because the bridge will be closed down. I think I was talking to one of the contractors who was going to bid it, and they think that it would probably be a job. It's not much to just hook up, and they're gonna be leaving the old force main on there. Our guys will clean it out and it'll remain in place. And then the new one will go next to it under the bridge and then hook up. We'll cut out some asphalt, tear up some of the grass area, and then that'll get re-sodded, and then the asphalt will be put back down. And it's taken quite a while because Gray and Osborne had those 90-degree turns in the line. Yeah, Nick Tingle was like, no, this is not gonna work. We can't have our sewers catching up at this 90-degree angle. So it's been rewritten, and it's 45-degree, which is acceptable. More to come on that when the bids come in. Any questions? Okay. The Arrow Lumber Culvert, I had a pre-con meeting with Simmons and Sons, who was awarded that project on Monday, and they are going to start, they're hoping to start next Monday, the 19th, but that depends on if they get the pipe culvert in time. They will have it sometime next week, but they don't want to start digging up down there until they have the materials 100% in hand. And we had Arrow Lumber also at that meeting, and they're comfortable with what the plan is and all the logistics of the project. There will be a period of time where customers will have to go in at the front of the store, and then if they have materials and lumber to pick up, they'll have to drive around, just because there's no way around cutting up the asphalt to do that replacement for that culvert. And that is expected to be about a 2-week project. Any questions? The convention center soffit cleaning is scheduled to start next week for the scaffolding to be put up. It might not be, it was supposed to be Monday, but they don't have a full scaffolding plan yet from their subcontractor. So it might be middle towards end of next week when we actually start to see the scaffolding go up. And that is a 4 to 6 month project. So if we hit bad weather and rains, we'll be doing as much as we can now until bad weather hits and then coming back. Also with the containment and with the painting, they can't do it in strong winds. So in some ways they're just as concerned about wind as they are the rain. So, but there's going to be a lot of containment at the convention center. Everything when they're sandblasting, it will all be inside containment. So there won't be the paint and materials flying around everywhere. All the work will be done under containment for that. And there will always be one access point. George has a group of bloodhounds, and it's going to be a really loud project. And so he's reaching out to the bloodhound group to let them know. And Purcell Painting is who's doing the project. They're working with George so that when he has a group like the bloodhounds in there, they're going to do the loud work leading up to it. And then when the bloodhounds are there, they're going to be able to be doing painting and quieter work. So there's a couple events that are like that we just can't have the loud noise during the events. And that is definitely one of them.
It's a bloodhound.
It's a dog. Yeah, there's a big group of them coming, and they're going to do tracking and trials and all of that. So
we're doing a specialty, so it'll be all bloodhound and the dog show and tracking and other things that they're doing.
You can hear them from a long way away. They're loud dogs.
Any questions on that one? The convention center HVAC installation starts on Monday. That's expected to be a 1 week or less project, 2 days to install, and then the system has to charge up for 24 hours. And then Carrier, who's the vendor that makes the units, is going to come and verify the install and that everything is charged up properly. And then we also are having SCJ Alliance, who's our contracted city engineer, is gonna come down as well and follow up and look at that work to make sure so that we are just doubly covered on that new system that's going in.
Carrier soon start up on
Yes. Yep. The street striping is expected to, well, it will be done in September unless they get the materials and can start in the next 2 weeks. I'm asking them to start as soon as possible. And as soon as they have the lead time on the materials, they're gonna let me know when they can start that. We are doing the all of Ocean Shores Boulevard and all of Point Brown instead of just half of it. And we added Duck Lake as well to this year. So it's more than what we typically do. And we added extra because we want to get half of the city done this year, half of the city done next year, so that it is all done with reflective glass beads, which is going to be really nice because I know I don't see well after dark. So that's going to be helpful for a lot of people.
And by Duck Lake, do you actually mean all Mount Olympus or?
Duck Lake Drive.
Duck Lake Drive, okay,
Mount Olympus will be tied in next year.
okay, next year, Mount Olympus, okay.
One of the areas that's part of this year, which was just on the schedule already for this year, but desperately needs to be done, is down by the jetty. Because all of those markings are pretty much gone and it gets a little confusing down there where you go to the parking lot or where the road goes and continues. So that's gonna be nice.
Even at night when it's not raining, it's
Yeah.
hard to tell.
Mhm.
Lake and canal treatment and harvesting, which is super exciting. We're getting a harvester on the water this year, scheduled to start on Monday. Mailers have gone out and to those that live by the water, and I believe within a quarter mile of the water, also should have received letters from the vendor. And that work is scheduled to take approximately 2 weeks as well. So,
So you have to live on the water to get notice?
or within a quarter mile of the water. And if somebody didn't get one, or you hear of somebody not getting one, let me know.
I've heard people complain.
And, Yeah, I've heard of one person that didn't get one, and so we reached out to the vendor to have it resent.
Basically, your idea was to send it to people on the water.
Yeah. Yep. And they,
And it's so that they can warn their, not put their pets in the water, there's all the
Yeah.
precautions they have to take.
and then there's also an address, an email address in that, the letters that were mailed, as well as on the postings and posted on the website that shows the email address for the vendor. Like the golf course is really concerned because they pull water out of the canal to water the greens and they don't want to kill all of the grass at the golf course. So they can reach out to the vendor and the vendor will let them know if what's being used or even maybe it's being harvested in that area. So it's okay for them to still pull the water, but the vendor is available for all of those contacts. And I have that information and it's also available on our website, so. The CTP grant, we were invited to apply for it. It's $150,000. And we sent that application in last week, maybe the week before. And it's, we're going to use it for a study of the remnant jetty because we've been pushing on the Corps of Army Engineers to do something with the remnant jetty. And what their feedback to us from them is that jetty, the sunken jetty, was never meant to be a jetty to help with erosion. It's just something that was built to lead up and help us get to the other jetty during the construction of the other jetty that the Corps is working on. And our plan is to have this study done. We'll put it out to bid. We'll send an RFQ out, not a bid, but a request for qualifications out. And then we'll hire an engineer to do the study, and then we will present it to the Corps of Army Engineers because there's a lot of us in Ocean Shores that do feel that that remnant jetty has been doing a lot to help with erosion down at that south end. So that's what our plan is.
I mean, you can see the dramatic difference between where the jetty is and just constructed properly and the erosion we have there versus the erosion that we have on the remnant jetty. It's traumatic, the difference.
What does CTP stand for? You said CTP.
I don't know what it says.
I do know, and I can't remember, but it's a good question because I actually had to look it up at one point. It's something like, and it's not going to be easy to find because it's a subgroup of a subgroup. Hang on.
Community Tourism Program.
No, that's a different one.
That's not it.
That's a different
That
one.
doesn't even make sense, does it?
No, that's a different one.
There are multiple CTPs though.
Yes, there are, but it's, we may have to get back here on this one. It's something,
Probably the first one is community, but I don't know what the other two are.
I don't think I've ever heard it said out fully.
and it's the Washington State Department of Emergency Management that uses that, right?
Yep, yep,
And
with FEMA Go.
I'll look it up.
But that is everything on my list. Questions about any other not meetings, any other projects or anything that council would like to?
Cooperating technical partners. That's it. Mhm.
Yeah.
You just seem to like that. It took me a minute, Vita, I'm sorry, but it was something that doesn't sound like what you think it would sound like. That's why. Yeah, and that's what it is. It's for technical partnerships between various entities so they can liaison and work together with one another. So if we have to do something for the Department of the Army Corps of Engineers, there's a funding source out there that allows us to access that.
So on the harvesting,
Mhm.
where exactly are they gonna be doing the harvesting?
He hasn't told me yet, but he's bringing the harvester tomorrow, so I get to see it tomorrow. And he will tell me more information and I'll have Sarah put it out on the website.
Cause I have a lot of people that live down where the area that's called Fishhook. That, I mean, it is so overgrown there.
Yeah.
I can't even get out to clean it out.
Yeah.
On the whole end, cause that's at the end of the canal.
Fishhook is notoriously the worst, the canal, but. Mhm. Yeah.
Not happy.
Well, it's very narrow and that's part of the problem. Well, there's not a lot of flow to the water.
No, because it's the end of it.
Mhm.
Tom, any questions or any other projects you'd like to hear about since we're done so quick?
You are unmuted.
Nope, okay, so
Probably can't hear you.
I think,
Yeah.
can you hear me, Tom?
Yes, I can.
Okay, did you have anything else that you wanted, anything?
No, it sounds good. Just took me a little time to get on today.
No worries. All right. We are adjourned.
Thank you. Thanks, Becky.
I had a question.
Okay.
Peter,
Vita, did you have a question?
Oh, she's waiting.
Oh, she's waving
Okay.
by, okay.
Bye. Thanks, Ed. Thanks. Bye.